Before we begin, thank you very much to Blitzwing. I really need that. Thank you very much for contributing over on Ko-fi. It is very appreciated. It does help. I've explained it a lot. I've explained it a lot. How Ko-fi helps out a lot here. I didn't expect to have to. I didn't expect to have to, but you're feeling silly. Everyone's feeling silly again. I was caught up on Ko-fi shoutouts, and now there are 4 more that I need to cover. But thank you very much for the generosity. Thank you very much for the support and keeping the channel going. I'm gonna need that support. I'm gonna need to reconsider my sobriety after this one. I woke up to the news that I never wanted to see. I woke up to the thing that I have been dreading. So, rumor has it that Michael Bay is currently in discussions to return to the Transformers movie franchise. Didn't think this would ever happen. So obviously we're taking this with a grain of salt because nothing official has been announced. However, this does come from someone with a verified track record of reliability, and it's not the only insider who is now reporting on this. For now, we're going to consider it a rumor, but I'm going to consider it a rumor with very strong support. Yeah, Paramount wants Michael Bay back. This is troubling. This is deeply, deeply troubling. I thought he was done. How many times has he quit this franchise? It's like, I thought number 3 was supposed to be him and done. And then 4 and 5, he both did after saying he wasn't going to do another one. And now he's back. Now he is back. Now it's important to note, we don't know what capacity other than directing a live-action Transformers movie. We do not know if this is going to be some kind of continuation of, Transformers 5, The Last Night, if this is going to be a continuation of Rise of the Beast, if this is going to be something completely new. All we know is, it looks like Bay's coming back. I don't want this again. I adamantly do not want this again. First off, I never thought he was a good fit for Transformers. The love of gratuitous explosions and the love of the US military really made me feel like, isn't he perfect for G.I. Joe? Isn't he the one you want directing G.I. Joe instead? Because that seems like a good fit. That seems like what he wants to do. But no, no. Again, I've always thought he's a bad fit, and I don't want to see a Michael Bay style Transformer movie again. Are you ready for that? Like, literally, are you ready for that? Are you ready for another 2.5 hours of mindless explosions with barely any plot holding it together? Are you ready for oversaturated colors and a heavy use of orange in all of the lighting? Are you ready for gratuitous shots of the US military gearing up? Are you ready for pointless moments of slow motion? Are you ready for sophomoric humor and that really isn't appropriate for the children that parents will be taking to these movies? Are you ready for that dumb sidekick that's in every single movie that we all make fun of for being such a bad character? Are you ready for objectification of the lead female actress? I'm not ready for any of that to come back. I'm happy that we got away from, the majority of that. I think I made it well known. I'm not a fan of the Bayverse anymore. I was into it when it first came out because it was something new, interesting. This is different. No, like, the longer it goes and the longer it just gets worse and worse, like, the more I'm just like, why? Why did I enjoy this the first time? It wasn't bad the first time, and then you know, Revenge of the Fallen. My brain did not want to remember the title Revenge of the Fallen because it's my most hated movie in the franchise. And yeah, like from that point on, it's just like no breaks, full speed, full stupidity, 2.5 hour movie. I thought we were done. I thought we had moved on to good things. I thought we had moved on to better things. Now, this feels like a panic response, right? This feels like Paramount going, oh no, we've gone too far. Take it back to what worked. Take it back to what was safe. You know, Michael Bay's Transformer movies are a safe bet. Let's go back to that, right? Because Transformers 1 bombed, and it didn't deserve to bomb. In every facet, in every category, it is better than the Michael Bay movies. It just is. You know, okay. Like the only thing you're gonna have on it is like that, you know, better stunt work, better makeup, better better choice of like better choice of scenes and location filming. Things that are impossible in animation. But everything else, story, character, visuals, I think everything was better in Transformers 1 than any of the Bay movies. But it's dollars. It's just dollars. And Paramount doesn't care why the movie bombed. All they care about is it bombed. So they're going back. It feels like a panic response. Please, Michael Bay, come back. We will pay you whatever you want. Just make us another Transformer movie so we can make a cajillion dollars off of it again. I have reservations about whether or not that will work. We have voiced them on this channel before. Oh, hey, guess what? It's time to voice them again. Rise of the Beast, at best, might have broken even. Maybe. It's one of those Transformer movies investors lost money on, so, you know, it's always great to find out. This was them with a brand new director, who I thought did a better job with similar material that Michael Bay worked with. I could follow the movie better. I enjoyed the pacing and the overall look of the movie better. But they were trying to do Bayverse style again without having to hire Michael Bay. And I don't think it worked because they did. I don't think it failed because they didn't have Michael Bay doing it. I think audiences are just sick and tired of the Michael Bay formula. I'm sick and tired of those really awful movies that are just nonsensical characters, barely any plot, just mindless action sequences, and barely any use of the Transformers who are in the freaking title of the movie. I feel like audiences just got sick of that exact runaround and just because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to keep going to these movies knowing that it's going to have the exact same shortcomings and the exact same plot formula every single freaking time. Let me guess. We're going to find out there is some kind of Cybertronian MacGuffin somewhere lost on Earth. The Autobots are going to be treated like bad guys, which I hate. Because U.S. U.S. governments cannot discern Autobot from Decepticon and views all of them as bad. Let's see. A romance subplot that goes absolutely nowhere and has no chemistry. Megatron's going to be back, but we're going to find out that there's a villain above him that's actually in charge of everything. Just mark that, because that's literally the formula they all go with. Oh, the big hero of the movie is going to be taken out of the movie 2/3 of the way through or halfway through, only to come back to be the big hero in the final fight. Usually Optimus Prime. There's Bumblebee in this movie. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm tired of it. Audiences are clearly tired of it because these movies just keep bombing. This was at best breaks even. Because I just think people are tired of the formula. They're tired of that style of Transformer movie. We saw that with The Last Knight, the last movie that Michael Bay actually directed for this franchise. Yeah, if you look at raw numbers, it looks like it did well. You know, it looks like it made some money, but you take like you take a $200 million budget, you double that in order to find out what the promotional costs of the movie were. You're left with maybe about 200 million in profit, which is nothing compared to like the 8 or 900 million that the other movies had done before it. So while, yeah, it made money, it was still considered enormously disappointing. That was, again, I think I read an article where investors lost $100 million on that movie. That's not a good sign. It's not good when that happens. And it got panned. It got panned. Like, I hate Revenge of the Fallen because that feels like Michael Bay being completely unfiltered because the writer's strike made sure that no one could revise the script. So like they had 2 weeks to hammer it out, and it's just pure Michael Bay led drivel. And then this one comes out and it's a mess because the writer's room had like 12 different ideas, and they said, let's just blend them all together into one movie. Just bloated, nonsensical, overcomplicated, and yet still somehow mind-numbingly dull plot. Amazing how they made that work. But this, again, it's a movie that was seen as a failure, and yet we're giving Bay another shot, and I don't get this. It will always frustrate me. It will always frustrate me. You had a movie that had both critical and financial success. Bumblebee made a modest profit, but that's still better. That's still considered a better result than what the previous movie had done. You know, but it did things differently, presented a fresh story. It wasn't just going by the same old Transformer beats, you know? It was doing something different. It wasn't Michael Bay. Like, it was fresh. And it was well received, not just amongst fans who will tell you, like most of us will tell you, out of the live action movies, Bumblebee's the good one. Even critics liked this movie. Even critics were on board with this one. And Paramount learned nothing. They went right back to the Bay formula with the next movie. And by then, you're just like, if anything, Bumblebee is almost a trap. Bumblebee almost sets a trap for us, doesn't it? We saw The Last Night. We didn't like the movie. The movie was awful. And we showed with our pocketbook, we're not going to be supporting movies like this anymore. And then they do Bumblebee as Paramount going, we're sorry, here's something different, here's something new from someone else other than Bay. And they just push it out there, and we go, ooh, we do like this. This is better. And then, you know, and then they go like, aha, see, we can do better. We can do better. We can make a movie that satisfies everybody. Now, here's this other movie. It has Beast Wars stuff in it. Want to give it a shot too? Well, you gave us Bumblebee, so yeah, I think we'll give this one a shot. Oh no, it's the same crap it used to be. Oh, I fell for it. Why'd I fall for it? I'm smarter than this. Why'd I fall for this? It's not to say that the movie is all that bad. I think it's better than most of the Bayverse movies. I think it's better than The Last Night, certainly. The box office didn't seem to think so. Learned nothing from Bumblebee. Learned absolutely nothing from Bumblebee. Now, I told you that Michael Bay's coming back. We don't know in what movie he's coming back, just a live-action Transformers movie. Well, there's another little update to this, and this is interesting how this all comes together. As it turns out, the director of Transformers 1, Josh Cooley, is in talks to direct another live-action Transformers movie. This is not connected to the Bay movie. This is a whole new thing. And guess what? Paramount apparently has five movies in the works. Now, I should say they're projects. They're not necessarily all Transformer movies. There might be a weird TV series in here. It might be like some kind of one-off thing. But no. I don't know what this is. I genuinely do not know what this is. And what's making it more confusing? What makes it more confusing is the fact that Cooley has been on record as saying that Paramount has no interest in the Transformers 2. As good as that movie is, it financially bombed. So, of course, they're not going to take the shot on giving it a sequel because they don't want to lose any more money off of it. Okay, I guess that's fair. But we know that's not one of the 5 projects. You know what else has not been mentioned in a long time? The G.I. Joe Transformer crossover we were promised at the end of Rise of the Beasts. Despite apparently having 5 projects in development right now for Transformers, none of them seem to be the movies that we were anticipating, which is super weird. Like, how do you have 5 in production and none of them so far feel like they're connected? Now, granted, we don't have full knowledge or access to this yet. This isn't like back in the day where we had like a bunch of interviews stating like, oh yeah, we're working on a Beast Wars movie, we're working on a full animated movie. Right now, this is the beginning of this story. We're just learning that these exist, and I just have to go, Paramount, why? I'm blown away by this revelation here. 5 projects for Transformers. Were you paying attention to the last ones? Because like 3 of the last 4 movies did not do well. I mean, The Last Knight you can say did well because it did turn a profit, but it lost investors money in the long run because once you include like Hasbro's cut and marketing fees, etc., etc. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff to do. That didn't go well for anyone who was like really had deep pockets into the movie. You do the same thing. Like Bumblebee was a modest success because it was low budget, and then you did Rise of the Beasts, and that lost investors money. That broke even, which means it basically cost money to make that movie. They lost on that one. They absolutely lost money on Transformers 1, no doubting that, no debating that one. That's just very simple math. 3 of the last 4 were either bombs or disappointing, and yet they have quintuple down. I've never heard of that in my life. And you know that thing that's failed 3 of the last 4 times? What if we did it 5 more times? This is not what you want to do. This is not going to work out, and I don't understand what they're going for. Like, I'm trying to even imagine what they would do. Like, it genuinely has me worried. Like, if Transformers 1's reception was so bad to Paramount, would they go all the way back and say, let's do Transformers 6? Let's follow up on the Unicron story we didn't tell and confuse everyone in the audience because Unicron showed up in the last live-action movie, but we're going back to the previous continuity. I can actually imagine Paramount being so scared of another flop from this franchise that they would actually pull that trigger. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. I'm going to tell you something right now. Mark my words on this. You can favorite this video and come back to this moment in it whenever you want, just so you have this down. If this man is still attached to the Michael Bay movie, if it is Michael Bay directing and Bonaventura producing, I'm out. I'm out. I will not be buying the toys. I will not go see the movie. I will not cover it on this channel. Whatever minor influence I have as a Transformers YouTuber, whatever that value has, I will not do anything to promote this film because I am completely 100% done with these two. Bonaventura needs to leave this franchise. And all of these rumors just scream Bonaventura because he was the one that had so many things cooking at the same time with this franchise, which is probably one of the reasons why so many of the later movies turned out to be so bad, because you're trying to multitask here, and that's not what you need to do. You need to focus on one at a time instead of just developing countless iterations and possibilities. what he's trying to do is he's trying to recapture his glory days. I've looked through this man's box office record. He's about 50-50 when it comes to success or bomb. And none of them are major successes. You know, one or two movies here do well, but most of them you've never heard of. You know, nothing that would get him in, like, you know, the talk of, like, well, the greatest Hollywood producers of all time kind of thing. The only thing he has for him is the fact that he was executive producer on a bunch of Transformers movies when they were huge. Billion-dollar money makers, and that raises his value immensely. But now he's got a bunch of bombs under his belt, so everything in him feels like he's trying to recapture that billion-dollar glory. And I gotta tell you, we don't need Michael Bay back to make people interested in Transformer movies anymore. What we need is a 5-year break. Forget the big bloated movies that people are sick of. Give people time to miss this franchise. Give people time to actually want another Transformers movie instead of just shoveling out bad movie after bad movie after bad movie. And I'm not saying this new one's going to be bad, but look at the people in charge. It's going to be bad. If he is still running it, if Bonaventura is really the one behind this, and all signs point to yes, this is absolutely stuff he would pull, do not expect direct coverage on this channel. Maybe news roundup stuff, but I'm not going to make a dedicated video to them. I am not going to review the film here on the channel for you. I am not going to give this, I'm not going to give the movie any more attention than I absolutely have to. I will just be done, because I feel like this is the worst thing they could have done. I will give it a chance only if people I trust tell me, hey, they actually got it right this time. And that is literally it. But we will see. Right now, as said, it's mostly just rumor. We will see in the coming weeks or months, however long this takes to flesh out, if this is really coming to pass, if Michael Bay is coming back, and exactly what these 5 projects are, because now I am deeply curious as to what they seem to be cooking here. But that's going to be it for me today. So thank you everyone for watching. Let me know what you think of Bay's impending return in the comments below. And I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.